If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves.
What is going on, guys? Thank you for joining us for another episode of Saturday Sports Stuff here on Mercado Airwaves. I'm your host, Mike Mercado. Thank you so much for making us a part of your weekend. And of course, it is WrestleMania weekend in the WWE and UFC 223. So on today's show, we're going to tackle and give you our predictions for WWE NXT Takeover New Orleans tonight on the WWE Network. And of course, give you our predictions for the two main events for the titles, for the Lightweight Championship and the Women's Strawweight Championship at UFC 223. All that and a little bit more here on Mercado Airwaves Saturday Sports Stuff. Stay tuned.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves.
All right, guys, let's get right into it. It is the biggest card of the year for NXT. We have 5 huge matches, and just like always, it is going to be hard for this NXT card to let us down. It never happens, and again, it is stacked for NXT TakeOver New Orleans. We have ourselves an NXT Tag Team Championship match between the Undisputed Era, Authors of Pain, and the team of Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne. In this case, of course, we know Bobby Fish is injured, so it will be Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole against Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne. In this case, I think the Authors of Pains are coming up. I believe Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong are going to be in a feud for the United Kingdom Championship. So with that, I have the Undisputed Era retaining the NXT Tag Team Championship and propelling Adam Cole to a storyline until Bobby Fish comes back, which seems like a long time because that is a very nasty LCL, ACL, MCL injury that he happened to suffer. In the next match, maybe the match of the weekend here for WrestleMania and NXT weekend, it is Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa in an unsanctioned match. The DIY partners are coming full circle to go against one another in the biggest show of the year. This one could go any place. Johnny Gargano, story-wise, has been fired from NXT, and if he beats Tommaso Ciampa, he goes ahead and is back on the NXT brand. My question is, with NXT TakeOver Chicago coming in June, does that mean that maybe in these next few months, we find a way to get a championship title on one of these two guys so they could go against each other? Is that the moment Tommaso Ciampa goes over? Is this a moment where the whole story, like we're going to see on Sunday night with Daniel Bryan, the returning star, the underdog that everybody's behind, does he get the dream ending on NXT TakeOver New Orleans? In this matchup, I think Tommaso Ciampa wins. I think Ciampa wins, and it is his time to become the next big heel in NXT, and you'll know why in just a little bit. It is the rematch for the NXT Women's Championship, Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler. This one, again, Baszler dominated all of the match in the last TakeOver. It looks like Ember Moon is starting to get that rub. We've seen her come up in the Women's Royal Rumble match. She looks to be experienced, coming from the Booker T training school. So in this case, I think it's time to crown a new champion. And not just a new champion, a heel champion that NXT hasn't had for a little while since Asuka's later end of her run. So in this one, I have Shayna Baszler winning her first NXT Women's Championship. And I think Ember Moon probably gets called up that Monday night, so look out for that. And in the co-main event, they're all main events, but in the co-main event, it is for the brand new NXT North American Championship in a ladder match. Adam Cole doing double duty versus the Velveteen Dream versus Killian Dane versus Lars Sullivan versus EC3 and against Ricochet, Prince Boom of the man himself. This match has me so excited. Just for the talent in there. I mean, Killian Dane is maybe arguably the most underrated guy in NXT. And Ricochet might be the best guy in all of professional wrestling when it comes to in-ring ability. I'm not a big fan of EC3, but EC3 has got a gimmick. EC3 has got a following. EC3 has made work throughout the independent scene, so you got to give him a little bit of love right there. Adam Cole is the future of NXT and the WWE, if you ask me. along with Velveteen Dream and Killian Dane. Like I said, between him and Lars Sullivan, so underrated for such big guys. This match literally could go anywhere. I don't think if you make a pick, there's a foregone conclusion who's going to win this match. But if push comes to shove, a brand new championship that you want to defend on the road when you're doing these house shows and you're traveling with your band, I think you give it to Ricochet. But with that in mind, I think EC3 wins this thing. And EC3 becomes your first ever NXT North American champion. And in the main event, Andrade Cien Almas versus Aleister Black for the NXT championship. This match is, again, when it comes to the technical story that's going to be told, is phenomenal. And Cien Almas has become another guy since Selena Vega became his manager. And Cien Almas is a great worker. And his intensity that he's brought with his character has made the biggest of differences. And then when it comes to Aleister Black, that's the guy. That's the guy. Other than Adam Cole, this is the guy that NXT is going to build around. He could go heel, he could go babyface. He has the move set to go against any person in any size group. And to be honest with you, Cien Almas has kind of ran his course throughout NXT, and it is time to see what he does on the main roster as a heel, because you need heels in the main roster, always do. And with that in mind, somebody like Adam Cole is going to take that place over. Somebody like EC3 is going to take that over. So in the NXT TakeOver New Orleans main event, I have Aleister Black becoming the brand new NXT champion. And like always, NXT TakeOver New Orleans looks to be absolutely stacked. It looks to be the best wrestling show of the entire WrestleMania weekend, from the independent scene and the main show of WrestleMania. I'm super excited. Every year we ask ourselves, how is it possible that they can continuously give us this talent and this level of performance? And they do all the time because they have the best talent and they have the best guys producing the matches. And it's always just one of the most entertaining parts of WrestleMania weekend. So to run it right down really fast, I have in the NXT Tag Team Championship match, the Undisputed Era retaining the NXT Tag Team Championships. In the Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa unsanctioned match, I have Tommaso Ciampa. In the NXT Women's Championship match, I have a brand new champion in Shayna Baszler. For the NXT North American Championship ladder match, I have EC3 becoming your brand new and very first North American champion. And in the NXT Championship match, we get ourselves a brand new champion in Aleister Black. Let us know what your thoughts are, your predictions. How excited are you for WrestleMania weekend? And of course, NXT TakeOver New Orleans.
Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
It has been one of the most craziest week in UFC history. From Tony Ferguson being injured a week out from one of the most anticipated fights of the year. From replacements not being medically cleared to go against Khabib. From Conor McGregor attacking a bus with a bunch of his goon squad. Good or bad, depending on your side of the fence. UFC 223 and the week leading up to it has been absolutely crazy. But even with all of that in mind, from 13 fights to only 9, we still have 2 championship fights. We have the lightweight championship and the women's strawweight championship on the line tonight at UFC 223. It is Khabib versus Al La Quinta. And of course, Rose Namajunas versus Joanna Jedrzejczyk for the women's strawweight championship. In the lightweight battle, I mean, what else can you say? Khabib might be the best UFC fighter, best grappler. He might just be the best fighter in the world. Period. Especially within a few weight classes of where he's at in the lightweight division. And you have to give all the credit to world to Al. And it's one of those things where, I don't know if Max Holloway would have done better with a week notice. I mean, Tony Ferguson had, a few months, and I didn't like his chances. So I think Khabib walks out as your new undisputed lightweight champion, and we lead ourselves to a Conor versus Khabib matchup, depending on what happens with Tony Ferguson and that nasty knee injury. And of course, in just a little bit, if you stay tuned, you actually hear our interview with Joanna Jedrzejczyk we had a few days ago before her huge fight at UFC 223 before Rose Namajunas. The last time these two ladies fought, Rose caught her. Joanna was talking a lot of crap leading up to this fight, and she paid for it. and Rose caught her and won herself a strawweight title. Will that happen again? I think Joanna is the better fighter. I think Rose is probably the more explosive fighter. I think history has already showed us that Rose can catch her. We've already seen that Joanna has actually had difficulty with a lot of the training partners that Rose has worked with. So I think this one literally is another toss-up. I don't think there's a foregone conclusion of who's going to win this fight. But because I think we're going to get a part 3, and because I think she has just put herself in that mindset that she needs this win, I'm going to pick Joanna Jedrzejczyk to win back her UFC strawweight championship. So I have Khabib winning the lightweight championship and now his 4th opponent. And then I have Joanna Jedrzejczyk regaining her UFC Women's Strawweight Championship. Let us know what your thoughts are. How crazy of a week has it been for UFC 223? What were your thoughts of the Conor McGregor and Khabib altercation with the bus? And more importantly, how excited are you for the fights, and who do you think is going to win and come out of UFC 223 in Brooklyn, New York as UFC champions?
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves.
Thank you so much, guys, for making us a part of your weekend here on Saturday Sports Stuff. It is going to be an awesome, exciting weekend in the world of sports and sports entertainment. Before I let you go, we are going to leave you with our interview with Joanna Jedrzejczyk before her huge fight at UFC 223. For every one of our producers here on Mercado Airwaves, thank you so much for sponsoring us. You can catch us on Facebook, like us at facebook.com/Mercado Airwaves. We're on Twitter. Follow me at mmercado2333. You can download all our shows at iTunes, itunes.com/Mercado Airwaves. And while you're at it, please rate, review, and share us, guys. It means a lot. We're on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Mercado Airwaves, Stitcher.com/Mercado Airwaves. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/Mike Mercado 2333. Follow us behind the scenes on Instagram, instagram.com/Mike Mercado 2333. And of course, every one of our shows and interviews are brought to you by our amazing producers at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. If you would like to hear any one of our interviews or shows ad-free before anybody else, or you have a brand that you would like to bring to a huge, diverse group of audience, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, and we have a tier just for you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of WrestleMania weekend. Enjoy the fights in the UFC, and enjoy our interview with Joanna Jedrzejczyk. See you next weekend, guys.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
Thanks for keeping it with us, guys. Before we get to the awesome Joanna, just a quick heads up. We did have a little bit of a connection phone issue because of the storms that have hit the Northeast and, of course, the Midwest over the last few days. But nonetheless, we did our best to edit and make it as clear as possible. So maybe lower the volume just a little bit, but Joanna is awesome, and I think we had a really nice interview about her journey in the UFC and this title match, and of course, representing women in sports, including her Polish heritage. Here's our interview with Joanna. Enjoy. Hi, how are you, Joanna?
Hey, how are you doing? Are you Polish?
No, I'm actually Hispanic, but here in Chicago, we have a huge Polish demographic.
That's why I'm asking. Second or third biggest Polish community, yeah?
Yeah.
In the world.
Yeah, you want to give a shout out to all your Polish fans here in Chicago?
Dzień dobry wszystkim Polakom mieszkającym w Chicago i w stanie Illinois. Pozdrawiam Was serdecznie. Oglądajcie moją walkę już w tą sobotę na UFC 223. Ten pas wraca ze mną do Polski, dla Polaków, tak naprawdę na całym świecie. Kocham Was bardzo. Wasza JJ. Dziękuję za wsparcie. Don't.
Awesome. So let's get right into it. How are you feeling heading into this awesome, huge fight? One of the biggest fights in UFC women's history.
I feel great. I feel more than ready. I put on such a great work for last 10 weeks at American Top Team in Coconut Creek with my coaches. Actually, I've been working before I came to HT a little bit in Poland. So I'm very happy to be here and do this again. I didn't want to wait too long for the rematch, and I knew that I was going to be the first in line right after the after the first fight with Rose Namajunas. So I'm happy to be here, back to New York, and put on a great fight on Saturday.
How excited are you to just get right back into it, put all that stuff that happened a few months back to the past, and get back what some people think is still your title? And Rose is one of the best fighters in the world, but this matchup has people so hyped. How excited are you for this?
You know what? I was not a competitor that night on November 4th, so I couldn't show to people how good I was prepared for that fight. And yeah, this time everything is going to be different. I'm going to be 100%.
And then with that difference, you coming in as the challenger this time, how important was it to make sure that your health was 100%, that your camp was 100%, and that mentally you were in the right place? Because it is different being the hungry predator of the challenger opposed to the champion.
Happy to be in this spot again. You know, I was a challenger when I faced Carla Esparza in 2015, and I won my belt. I defended the belt for five times,
Right.
and I'm telling you, it's easier to win the belt than defend the belt. So I'm very happy that whole pressure is on Rose Namajunas right now. She's a great athlete. She's the champion right now, and I'm very happy to challenge great, talented athletes. So there is no pressure. I just want to enjoy the process and go there and show to people how I changed as a human and as a fighter, how I changed my game. Because I was such a dominant fighter such a dominant champion for almost 3 years, and people were studying me, so I had to change the game. But let's not talk about this. Let me show it on Saturday.
Right, and I think that's what a lot of people look up to you for, especially you were one of the faces of this women's movement, and not just MMA and UFC, but in the sports world. How does that make you feel? How important is it for you not only to represent, your Polish heritage, but also women in MMA? As you said, you're one of the most dominant champions in history. How important is that to you?
It's important to me. I see things different. Like my fighting career, my life got different taste, different flavor. I care more about the lifestyle, life stuff than I care about my career. It's such a shallow world. Show business is such a shallow world, and I don't care about this. My family, my religion, my country, the most important things in my life. I know that people follow money. They want to be popular. Me not. I just want to do my things and remembered as one of the greatest athletes from Poland, one of the greatest UFC fighters. This is what I matter about. Money don't make you happy. The stuff don't make you happy. I like good stuff because I work my ass very hard every day. So, and I know that hard work pays off. But there are things I care about more now than I used to. But I wanna show to people that doesn't matter how high you were, how bad was the fail, and to people who have failed, who don't have the strength to rise, I wanna show to them that they can do this. Same as me. I will do this on Saturday.
What advice would you give young girls who are trying to make it in this sport that you wish you would have gotten when you were younger?
You know what? Very often people ask me who I would like to be if I was not the champion. I always say I would like to go through the same road with the same experience. Because what's beautiful, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, today, tomorrow, after tomorrow. And we must take life as it is and experience. And this is what makes you at the end of your life. And what I want to say to young people, there is not a short way. There is only long way. And people ask me what motivates me. My dreams and my goals. Because I'm the only person who can bring this alive, who can make this happen. And I believe in hard work. And hard work and dedication. That's it. That's it. Be honest, guys. Don't try to be someone you are not. And be yourself all the time. Be real. Be honest. Don't be fake.
Joanna, you are one of the most lovely persons we've had on the show. You represent the sport so well.
Really?
Honestly, you're one of our favorites here. Thank you so much for joining us on this crazy schedule you're on. Any last words for your fans before you and Rose steal the show this Saturday in New York City?
Yes.
Joanna, the floor
Today
is
you
yours.
can watch the press conference, the open workouts if you are in New York, and I cannot wait to get back for the UFC Chicago in June, July,
Yeah.
June,
Uh-huh.
and eat the deep fried pizza again.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Chicago.
Joanna, you are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
A huge thank you to Joanna and the fine people in New York and the UFC for setting this up. You could catch Joanna and Rose sealing the show at UFC 223 Saturday, April 7, 2018. It's Khabib versus Holloway, Brooklyn, New York, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. The prelims start on Fox Sports 1, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Joanna, Rose, the rematch for the women's strawweight title in the UFC. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this cool interview with Joanna. Don't forget, you can catch all of our other work all over the universe. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Follow me on Twitter at mmercado2333. Every one of our shows here is brought to you by our amazing producers over at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. If you'd like to hear these interviews ad-free or before anybody else, or if you have a brand you would like to bring to a huge, diverse group of audience, we have tiers just for you. That's patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Don't forget, you could download, subscribe, and rate us, like us everywhere in the universe, wherever you like to listen to podcasts. We're on iTunes. Subscribe, like, rate, and review us. That's iTunes.com/Mercado Airwaves, SoundCloud.com/Mercado Airwaves, Stitcher.com/Mercado Airwaves. Of course, if you'd like to see us behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/MikeMercado2333. And of course, subscribe to us on YouTube, YouTube.com/MikeMercado2333. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the fights. We will see you next time here on Mercado Airwaves.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves.